Hi everyone, and this is April Forts, and I'm the State Supervisor of Mathematics at the Iowa Department of Education. And tonight I want to welcome you to our April webinar for our pre-service teachers for mathematics. And so tonight what we're going to talk about is we're talking about Claim 4, Modeling and Data Analysis and Standards for Mathematical Practices 2, 4, and 5. And if you have not previously watched the webinars up to this point, you'll want to go back so that you have the content piece and that you also have the problem solving and communicating reasoning piece with the other standards for mathematical practices. So all of the documents that we're going to look at are on the Iowa core pages, and we have a guide to help you understand those pages to know what you're looking at and how to interpret that to use that in your instruction. So I will open that up. And this is still in a draft form, and we haven't quite finished it yet because people are using it and giving us feedback. And so if you find an edit or something, please feel free to let me know. Here's my email address here. And so we're going to look at Part 4, Aligning the Standards for Mathematical Practices to Modeling and Data Analysis Assessment Targets. So we're going to look at 2, 4, and 5. And so if you click on this, it has a heading and it'll take you down to this section. And so for modeling and data analysis, students can analyze complex real-world scenarios and can construct and use mathematical models to interpret and solve problems. Modeling links classroom mathematics and statistics to everyday life, work, and decision making. Students use modeling and data analysis to choose and use appropriate mathematics and statistics to analyze and understand situations, to make predictions, find solutions, and improve decision making based on results from the model. The standard feature modeling as both a mathematical practice at all grades and as a content focus in high school. So we're going to look at standards for mathematical practices 2, 4, and 5. And so 2 is to reason abstractly and quantitatively, 4 is model with mathematics, and 5 is to use appropriate tools strategically. So we're going to look at grade 3 for our example, and what the screenshots do is it just walks you through when we go over to the Iowa page of what that looks like in the navigation so you can understand what the different components are. So first it says to go to the assessment target page on the Iowa Core website. And when you get there, you will see a list of characteristics for the different grade levels. And then it says, go ahead and open the grade 3 targets defined. And we called it that because those are the assessment targets, and that's how they're defined by the authors of the standards. And so you will open it up and you'll see where this is all grade 3, and you'll see the different claims at the top. And we have claim 1 here, and that gets into the content standards. And then you can either use the table of contents up here to skip down to claim 4, or you can scroll past till you get down to the bottom. And you'll read the descriptor that says students can analyze complex real-world scenarios and can construct and use mathematical models to interpret and solve problems. Notice the assessment targets A through G for Claim 4, Modeling and Data Analysis. So you'll see that the DOKs are already listed for these. So target A is to apply mathematics to solve problems arising in everyday life and workplace. B is to construct autonomously chains of reasoning to justify Target B, construct autonomously chains of reasoning to justify mathematical models used, interpretations made, and solutions proposed for complex problems. Target C, state logical assumptions being used. Target D, interpret results in the context of a situation. Target E, analyze the adequacy of and make improvements to an existing model or develop a mathematical model of real phenomenon. Target F, identify important quantities in a particular situation and map their relationships. And target G, identify, analyze, and synthesize relevant external resources to pose or solve problems. So step 6, attention to the assessment targets A through G are important because they are considered the primary targets for this claim category. So content standards and standards for mathematical practices 2, 4, and 5 are embedded within the problem-solving targets of A through G for claim 4. And actually, I want to say that is not supposed to be problem-solving. That is actually supposed to be modeling and data analysis. So that caused me pause because I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's supposed to be, problem-solving would have been claim 2. But what this is saying here is the content standards are embedded within the standards for mathematical practices. So we take the standards for mathematical practice targets, and those are embedded into the content, and these are embedded within the targets here. So when you look at the targets up here, you can see where the 2, 4, and 5 are in here if you look at those standards for mathematical practices. And then what we do is we have those types of problems for modeling and data analysis, and you're going to take the content and you're going to place the content inside of these targets. So on the bottom of the section, it just lists the 80% you can ignore for right now because that was a smarter balancing. But what they were trying to do was draw some attention to the fact that these are the targets in 3rd grade that would lend themselves more easily to be embedded into those targets for problem solving and data analysis. So, and then we could, this just says that we could embed any of the rest of the content in there as well. And then the achievement level descriptors, and if you've watched some of my previous webinars, then you understand that this is really kind of like your ruler. This is how you're going to decide if a student's work is proficient or not. This isn't how you're going to decide if the student is proficient or not. It's about their work. And so if a student is a level 3 and if they're proficient on modeling and data analysis, then they'll be able to do what's listed under here for level 3. And then you'll know that their work is proficient or not. But it's really the evidence that we get from the student that we then use to determine whether or not there's that proficiency. So now we'll go over to the website and we'll take a look at what this looks like. So if we go over to the Iowa Core website, and I'm just going to back out of here to make sure we all know how to get in. So we go to iowacore.gov, and under Educator Resources, and so if, oops, it didn't take me all the way back, so we'll go to iowacore.gov, and we'll delete that so you know how to get there. So from this home page here, you'll hit Educator Resources, and this will open up our subject area pages, and then you'll click on Mathematics, and then underneath we'll go down to Summative Assessment, and these are the grade level targets defined that I was talking to you about. So let's go ahead and open up grade 3. And up here at the top is where you're going to have your content. And then here under Claim 4, Modeling and Data Analysis, we'll open that up. And you'll see this is all the information we were talking about on that other sheet. So really we house the information here. We just made that other guide so as you kind of went through it, broke it apart and you kind of knew what you were looking at. So here's all those targets that we talked about. Here is the content that we said lends itself to be embedded into the modeling and data analysis. And then down here are your achievement level descriptors. So let's go ahead and for 3rd grade, go up and look at 3OA. Let's look at that that target or that cluster in the standards. And if you've watched previous webinars, then you know that our clusters and our standards are the same as our targets for assessment. So we're going to go up here to 30AA, and that deals with these 4 standards there. And so we'll open that, and then we have to click it one more time. And so up here, we're going to use our table of contents to jump right down to claim 4. And we'll scroll a little bit. And so we can see that here is a claim 4 question on this for modeling and data analysis for 3rd grade. And it says right here that students can analyze complex real-world scenarios and can construct and use mathematical models to interpret and solve problems. So here in this example, Tina has 4 packs of gum. Each pack has the same number of pieces of gum. Altogether, there are 60 pieces of gum. So part A is to make an equation to find the number of pieces of gum in each pack. Use N for the number of pieces in each pack. And part B is how many pieces of gum are in each pack. So the rubric says to give the student 2 points, 1 point for the correct answer to each part. For part A, the student would enter the correct equation that N equals 60 divided by 4, or they could also say 4 times N equals 60, or 4 equals 60 divided by N. For part B, the student enters the correct number, and then this would be a numeric response type. So to go back over here, then the other things that we talked about is we have the standard-based grading rubric that's up on the website so that you can also see the achievement levels descriptors there. And next month, we're going to talk about that a little more in depth. I would encourage you to go and take a practice test so that you can see some more question types there. And as a reminder, we have a G+ community, and ICTM save the date is October 9th. And sign up for the professional development under Principles to Action. So thanks everyone, and be sure to email me if you have any questions.